Please, everyone, would you mind raising your right hand? Everyone, thank you. Leave it up if you think that change is possible to make a better world. Hold it right there. If that's true, it means that this talk is to the right audience. But not only that, take a second to look around. And you will see that this is quite a popular topic. You can put your hands down, thank you. First of all, I would like to thank the TEDxKAIST committee. You guys have done a remarkable job, and we all should be grateful, and we are, thank you. Now, change. Somehow recently, this word has become extremely common. And especially if we put it together with another two words, change the world. We find this everywhere. And when I mean everywhere, I mean everywhere. We want to change our environment. Actually, we want to change it back. Politicians have been invoking change for generations now. We want to change the way we conceive welfare, education, take your pick. What is the motor that we use to make all this change possible? Ideas, of course. But let me ask you one thing. Are ideas just what we need? The short answer, of course, is no. Ideas alone are not just good enough. We all know that. And I know what many of you are thinking right now. You're thinking, of course not. You need to put your ideas into action. You need to execute them. Yes, you're correct. But before that, you need to let the world know about it. A couple of weeks ago, a professor here in KAIST, the CEE department, Professor Thompson, said something that got stuck with me. She said, it doesn't matter how good your ideas are if you're unable to express them to the world. And this holds so much truth in it. I am here to remind us all that a key component to make that change possible is communication. And let me tell you what I do not mean. I do not mean to speak in the most sophisticated way possible. I do not mean that you should have an impeccable grammar. I do not mean that you should talk in English. No. Those things are important. But what I mean is the very essence of communication, and that is, of course, listening, watching, and speaking. This is what we need. So let me share a little bit about my experience. I consider myself an extremely shy person. I come a long way from being chronically shy to just extremely shy like now. And the thing with shy people is that we have these two in our pocket. We are experts at watching and listening, but speaking is a whole different story. Speaking into large crowds for me was the scariest thing ever to conceive. But I learned one important thing, and that is that public speaking is a skill that you can foster and you can actually learn. It was right here in Korea that thanks to Toastmasters, I moved on from being this guy who wasn't able to ask a girl for a date, that wasn't able to ask for an extra glass of water to a waitress, to a guy who was able to address a crowd of 2,000 students for more than an hour, and I'm not talking about a class, to a guy that is actually standing right now in front of you. There is one thing very curious that I found about public speaking, and that is how much pride ourselves in how tolerant our societies are. And we like to compare them. And we value big words like freedom, unity, or tolerance. But let me ask you one thing. How much of a difference is between an idea that cannot be said, an idea that cannot be heard, or an idea that actually is heard but is ignored? How much impact you have? None. Do you actually want a better world? A world when needs are met, when you are listened, but more importantly, when actually you can express yourself? Then it's time to listen, to watch, and to speak up. Believe me when I'm telling you that you do not need to jump in a lift to aim your goals higher and higher. So this is my idea worth spreading. My idea is that it should be you in a couple of weeks, in a couple of months, in a couple of years, who should be standing right here, letting your ideas take shape, expressing them in a convincing way to your family, to your friends, to your colleagues, to your community, to our world. What is holding you back? Fear? These can be conquered. So let me finish in the words of Marianne Williamson when she wrote a poem about conquering your fear and taking advantage of the talent and the gifts that we all have. She said, it is not just in some of us, it's in everyone. As we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our fear, our presence automatically liberates others. I can only hope for you to let your ideas shine into words, words that could change the world.